As I said, I am no longer the daylight delivery boy. I am no longer the Solatube dealer for the Darling Downs. That job has been taken from me, and I have given it away very happily. I'd like to introduce you today to the very first, definitely in Australia, but I think internationally, Solatube certified installation consultant. Okay, now that in Solatube terms is something reasonably important. We put our people through a fair sort of a number of hoops that they need to jump through to call themselves that. And Cheryl-Anne is the first one, I think, in the world that is female, or at least was 5 or 6 years ago when she first became that. Also, the very best installer I have ever trained, and is now the Solatube person for the Darling Downs. Would you like to tell us all about yourself?
Thanks, guys. As you heard, my name's Cheryl-Anne. And happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Actually, it's a bit of a milestone for me. Valentine's Day tomorrow marks the 2nd anniversary of my name, so that's an easy one to remember. Well, as Steve said, I've been working with Solatube for a few years now. I actually, when I met Steve, would be 8 years ago. Yeah. I was in between jobs. I started my career as a graphic designer of all things. Used to work in high-end agencies in Melbourne on accounts like Watties, Weight Watchers, Arlec, a lot of well-known brands, and it was great. I was a career girl, loving Melbourne, loving the city life and everything, and wound up going on a trip around Australia. Got about halfway before I sort of run out of funds in Queensland, and wound up with a job at the Queensland Times. And I was there as their head artist for quite a few years, and I was going to go out into business with a friend that I met there. Wound up coming off my motorbike. I've been riding for years as well. And that put me in hospital for a few weeks and out of action for a few months, unfortunately. It's the lovely scar on my knee. Yeah, I've got a 65 Jenny shovel, and I now have a partner who has 2 Ducatis, so I'm a very happy lady. Actually the Harley's up for sale soon too. If anyone's looking at getting an old Harley, it's a Jenny shovel. It's a beautiful classic bike. Anyhow, so I was in between jobs. I recovered from my motorbike accident, and a friend of mine, Faith Law, who I used to do a lot of advertising for through the QT, she had the Ipswich Home Show, amongst other events. She'd do bridal shows and that sort of thing as well. And at one of these home shows, while I was in between jobs and wondering what on earth I was going to do next with my career, well and truly overdoing graphic design and advertising, after 20 years I'd really had enough. So I just networked in amongst all of the stall holders at the show, and that's where I met Steve. He was there in his Solatube stand, and as you know, he will talk to anyone. And I have a tendency to do the same thing. Exactly. So we made a fantastic connection, and we were discussing where I was at and what he was doing, and he said, well, how about you travel with me for 3 days and see how you go? I said, okay, I've got nothing to lose. He said, what do you like at climbing roofs? And I said, well, it's not something I do every day, but yeah, give it a go, give anything a try. So I think it was a couple of days later, after the home show had finished, I jumped on board with Steve, and for 3 days I put in whirlybirds and watched him put in skylights. And the first day on the roof, I really had no idea about how to walk on a roof at that stage. I think I was on my backside for most of the time, just facing downhill, making sure I didn't slide, and he was laughing at me all day. But it didn't take long for me to find my roofing legs and roofing shoes. Apologies for the shabby shoes today. I've actually got to buy myself some new shoes, but these have seen some pretty hard work. So yeah, 5 years later, I had, well actually 4 or 5 years I should say, and since that time, I also had a Solatube business, subcontracting to Steve, buying my stock from Steve. Had my own customers. He gave me a lot of customers as well, and yeah, I did that for 5 years up until 3 years ago. Got out of it again. Probably noticed this logo on my shirt. I work with my brother in non-destructive testing. Does anyone know what that is? Yep, got one more. Basically, it's a method of testing structures, whether it be weld cracks, or timber densities, all sorts of materials. And you use various devices to scan that material, and it doesn't compromise the structure of that material, and will give you feedback on what's going on beneath the surface or on a microscopic level. But that's what I was doing for the last 3 years. In the utilities industries, on power poles and light poles and that sort of thing, timber, steel. That was really interesting as well. It set me all around Australia, as you can imagine, because there are power poles everywhere. I went to Singapore, didn't get to go to New Zealand. I call my brother Brew because he spends a lot of time in New Zealand. He might as well be a Kiwi himself. And yeah, well, that sort of ran its course, and well, about the right time. It's amazing how timing works, isn't it? Steve, I bumped into Steve again, or we caught up for lunch or dinner or something, I think it was, and he said, well, I'm thinking of getting out again. How do you feel about taking it up? And he said, I don't know what to do. Well, he was considering what to do with the business, and he offered it to me, and I thought, yeah, I could get back into this again. I feel like working for myself again, and with all that, you know, stress that you normally get when you're working for yourself, and the flexibility too, to a certain extent. So yeah, that brings me to here I am. And yeah, it's taught me a lot of lessons. Just go through life. I'll tell you, you usually have to work fairly hard at what you're doing in order to really build a business. This time round, it's a whole lot larger than the last time, and it's actually a lot of fun to be able to put in that sort of effort and look forward to getting the results. So now I've got a brilliant man with me who is sharing the journey, which is awesome, because now I'm not relying totally on my own income to maintain my mortgage and everything else. And yeah, that's my life to this point. And being a female actually has been a really good advantage for me as well. As you can imagine, when I turn up at most houses, so you know, knock on the door and they look around me and go, oh, okay, where's the bloke who's installing? I say, oh man. So it's actually been an advantage, because people get talking. When you're a female in an unconventional role like that, people go, wow, you know, as if it's something a woman can't do. It's very achievable. Two hands, 2 legs. I'm not afraid of heights anymore. And I managed to do all of the labour associated with that, even carrying a couple of roof tiles at a time, up and down ladders and all that sort of thing. But yeah, people do get talking about it, which is such a great advantage for my business. And you know, it makes my life a lot easier to find clients from that point too. So yeah. Thank you very much for your time, and
well,
thank you for
very
the invitation.
quick. You've just given us 15 minutes worth of questions. Tell us about your worst experience being a girl.
Oh, really? Worst experience? Oh man, that's pretty. I don't think I've had a good. Actually, no. There's only the one time I've ever had anyone take issue with me being female, and that was antenna school. Because we called it antenna school. We used to do antennas as a supplementary service to the skylights. If things got quiet, antennas were always something that needed to be done. And I went to a course in town on digital modulation, I think it was, and there was an antenna bloke there, one of the other students learning about digital modulation. And man, I can't even remember what he said, but it was some really snide comment about being a woman and in that sort of business. And I think that's the only time that's really...
I'll remind you of one.
Oh, go on.
Last September, when you gave a quote to someone out of the plane as well. Wiped it from your mind.
Hey.
Would you ask your brother's best experience?
Best experience.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, best experience. Actually, I can tell you a funny experience.
That's good.
It's there's quite a lot of households I go to, particularly during the day. There will be single mothers, and they'll have really young children at home. And it's funny, the perceptions of a 4-year-old. I arrive there, talk to the occupant, and go up on the roof, and I come back down again. It was one particular 4-year-old said to his mother, "Where did the lady man go?" Where's the lady man on the roof? but yeah, I just crossed roles, I guess. It was just a kid's perception of what a man and a woman should do. That was an understatement.
Amazing how at the age of 4 that's already firmly planted.
Yes.
Yes, it does make you think, doesn't it? Because there are background influences there teaching a 4-year-old that people have particular roles, and when you think about it, it would actually constrain their way of thinking as they're growing up, because they might be, if it's a girl child, maybe she'd make a brilliant electrician or an engineer or something, and unfortunately they wouldn't think of that because those preconceived ideas are right.
What's the cost for normal?
15%.
Okay, well, that's not one straightforward question to that, but the product that we do sell is the Solatube DS series in particular, because it has a lot of technology and patented components in it that make it an extremely effective skylight. In fact, we're not allowed to call them skylights. Solatube tell us to call them daylighting devices because they've got so much more on them. And for, I guess, a larger one of those, they would start at about 1,300. Yeah, I've got to get the prices back in my head again now, because it's been a few years and a few of them have changed. Install price, you're looking at around 1,300. You can get a smaller one, which will do a regular bathroom, a smaller room, small kitchen area, and you're looking at just under $1,000 for one of those installed. But yeah, the prices vary according to shaft length, of course. You're using more materials.
And it would also be affected by the roof type, distance, I would imagine.
Distance more than roof type. Unless you have a very level roof under 5 degrees, then you would require extra flashing because there are leaking issues otherwise. They're a very well designed roofing component, the flashing and everything, so very rare to get one leak.
That's all in the tile.
Oh, actually I've done that once before, but I realised after I got home, oh gee, I better go and ring them. Actually I called them back the next day and said, oh, I left a screwdriver behind, do you mind if I pop on your roof? So I put the tiles back while I was up there.
So we're a small business club. What ideas have you got in your mind for, because you want to grow the business, and I've spent the last 2 years making it smaller, don't you?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, it's no point reinventing the wheel when it comes to promotion. I've got to plug into a lot of the groundwork you've done, but in addition to that, hey, I've got to use the girl thing. The girl factor is always a winner. When it comes to expanding the business, I've yet to sit down and properly look at the marketing. You'd think with 20 years background in advertising and everything, I would have done that already, but it's been flat out the last 3 weeks, just getting the van, the business together and everything. But yeah, look, it's a matter of, I'm going to have to start networking again.
What type of van you doing?
I bought a Sprinter.
Yeah.
It's a medium wheelbase one, diesel of course. It's 2011 model, and it's the first Mercedes I can say I've ever owned. I'm quite happy about that actually.
So what area do you cover? Like, are you
Same as Steve, basically from Ipswich west. Yes, I live in Ipswich, so it's a lot easier. Yeah.
So what's the most common thing that you sell? Is it the Solatube? So what's the biggest seller in the product line?
Depends on the time of year. At the moment, I've got a lot of calls for roof ventilation. In fact, I've got to make a decent order of those the fans. The solar-powered fan, they're brilliant. I don't know if Steve's told you about them. He said he's told you everything about the business before, so I don't want to bore you to tears.
So how much are they?
You're looking at anywhere between $750 and $1,000, depending on the size. But there's also there's more than just the roof fan. It's a solar powered roof fan basically. It sits on the northern facing top of your roof. When you design the whole airflow thing, you've got to bear in mind that you need somewhere for cool air to get in. So a lot of the job is also putting in ventilation around the eaves or inside the house.
So this operates when it's hot, it operates?
When the sun's on it. So when the sun's hitting the solar panel, it's working. So when the sun goes down, it stops.
When the cooling the property, does it have the reverse effect as well, that it can heat the property as well, or is it purely for cooling?
It's purely for ventilation.
In saying that, during winter, you get a lot of moisture build up inside your ceiling cavity.
Yeah.
If you have insulation, the moisture drops into the insulation and makes it less effective. So though it doesn't actually make your house hotter in winter, it increases the ability for your insulation to keep the heat inside your house.
Yeah. The other thing too is if you want to be able to switch it off, there is actually a thermostat option. You can plug into that. I think it switches it off at about 24 degrees, which is quite low for a roof cavity.
Why do people put in Solatubes? Why would you?
Because they're brilliant.
Why would I spend $1,200 to put in Solatube?
Well, you know, there are a lot of benefits over a standard skylight. One of the main ones is they don't transfer heat into your room below. They are several times brighter than your standard cheapie. You know, you're probably familiar with the flexible tube type skylights. They don't really transport a lot of light through them because of the nature of that tube. You've got to pull really tight to get their worth out of them. The Solatube daylighting devices are highly reflective tubes. They're 97% reflective. So you can put a really long tube in and you won't lose much light over that distance. I think 8 metres is where you start losing your luminosity. Yeah, maximum light and no heat, that's the two main points. They're very attractive as well. You've got a number of ceiling fittings too that you can choose from to suit your decor.
Okay. It's mainly the light and that though, because you wouldn't put it in to save energy on your lights necessarily, or I would put something a little bit, I guess, but the main reason that I would put any type of external light bringer in a device is for looks or for lighting the house up.
A natural light as opposed to fake light.
Yeah.
There are many benefits. One is it actually gets your happy hormones, your serotonin flowing.
Yeah.
It physically is proven to make your home a happier place to be. Now, I don't sell them, or Cheryl-Anne doesn't sell them like that, but you tell everyone because it's true. So you're looking at a normal skylight that doesn't have that pure natural light against a Solatube. You're looking at an addition of between 30 and 50% additional price, but you're getting those benefits, and those benefits are at home being happier, in a classroom smarter kids, because sunlight is what we spent 250,000 years evolving to need and require.
The natural light thing makes it vivid sense, yeah.
And you get the full spectrum of light too, so you have truer colours.
But you can put light where a normal skylight wouldn't put light. In fact, if you run your tube and bend it as such, will give you light in areas that wouldn't normally get light.
The only restriction to placement position of a skylight is whatever is going on in your roof. So if you have a roof full of trusses, of course you can't cut trusses effectively. You've got to work around those. But we do try and position them to the most effective point in your room anyway, just because we know how far the light.
But what I'm getting at is like you can run a Solatube through a two-storey house to light up the bottom story, where you can't do that in the skyline, at the bedroom skyline.
Yes, it is possible to do that if you have a closet or something, wardrobe upstairs to run the tube through, or you can box it in.
At build stage, you can do it very easily.
Yeah, that's true too.
How would the layperson know if you've got a skylight at home? How would you know if it's a Solatube or just a tube? Is there any way of that?
If you take the diffuser off, you can usually see up into the tube, and pretty much determined by the style of the diffuser itself as well as the tube inside.
How big's the tube?
They vary. There's one that's about 360, I think it is, 360 this diameter. The other one's just over 250, and it's about 270 or something. Just checking.
Then you've got
It's a while since I've measured one, but yeah. So yeah, you've got one about that size, which is, like, as I said before, it's great for bathrooms and small rooms and small kitchen areas. And the larger one, you can do kitchen dining with one device.
And how flexible is the tube material? Is it like
Not flexible. It has I guess swivel joints which are cut on an angle. So when you turn one piece against the other, you change the angle that way.
Okay.
So it's really good if you're good at puzzles there, then you'd be good at figuring out angles on those. It's usually a fun challenge.
Back to your ventilation system. Has it got where you can, a motor where you can physically turn it on? Like you say, it doesn't work when the sun's not out. But with our workshop, it gets hot even, I guess it's a build-up of heat during the day,
Yeah.
but then at night time,
Is that heat still in there?
yeah. So is there any way you can override this thing where you can flick the switch and still have it work?
Well, it does work off a solar panel. I don't think they've come up with one that runs off batteries. have they?
It wouldn't be hard.
It's not hard. It's not hard
Okay.
to. It's not hard. In the fan itself, there's two little plugs. You unplug one, you run a circuit off that down to a battery. It'll charge the battery up through the day, and you can keep the thing going at night. But that's something you would do. What's the cost?
12, isn't it?
Look, there's two different size solar panels. One's 22 watt, one's a 12 watt, 10 watt, and they just drive as fast as I go. Yeah, it's not difficult to do.
So why are they better than a conventional whirly, just a normal whirly bird, after the fact that whirly birds make it all?
They can do when they've been hit by hail a few times. Well, the Sydney University engineering students a few years ago did studies on whirlybirds and their effectiveness. So with a wind speed of 8 kilometres per hour outside, they will move 90 cubic metres of air from the inside, but it works purely on a differentiator, the difference between the hot air and the cool air. Hot air, of course, always rises. And if you have, it's essentially a hole in your roof. The whirly thing pretty much just keeps the weather out. With the Solar Star, is the name given to the solar powered fan, the smaller version is the equivalent to 10 plus whirlybirds, and the larger, which is the RM16, is 15 plus whirlybirds.
So when you want to come out and put one in? There you go.
There you go. I've got to actually, probably next week I could do it, because actually I've place an order for some more. I have one on board at the moment.
Yeah, you've only got a 12, you'd probably want a 16.
You'd want a 16 for that sort of volume there.
So there you go, next week, Tuesday.
Whatever.
Oh, you'll have an order in by Tuesday? Delivered? I'll place it tonight.
Okay, that's time.
That's
We're just
it.
about time.
Alrighty.
So, thank you. No, don't go anywhere. I want to point out to everyone here the benefit of possibly becoming a backscratcher.
Oh, okay.
Number one, over the last 4 weeks,
there has been 3 leads come from the Backscratcher website.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say that's over the last 4 years there's been 4 leads come from the Backscratcher website.
Lovely.
But that says to me that somehow the Solatube name is starting to appear and it's coming to here as opposed to the Solatube website. This gives you a reason every Tuesday morning to come to Toowoomba so that you can book in work every Tuesday knowing that you will be here.
Yeah.
And the Backscratchers actually needs more ladies, so you are very welcome if you
You know,
would like to.
I used to be in Rotary for about 8 years. For the last 3 years I was president because they couldn't get anyone else to do the job. And it was the same deal. It's the same with any club. My father is a Freemason, and Masons have got the same problem too. Membership is so difficult to cover, and women in particular are very difficult to get involved in the club as well. I mean, quite often they're partners of existing members, but it's quite rare for women to come in individually to clubs like this.
And with that, thank you for chatting to us, and welcome to the Darling Dance.
Excellent. Thank you very much.